Welcome to the 2022 Economic Depression and Preparation channel. Thank you for joining me on this Hump Day Wednesday, midweek. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button and thank you for your support. Today, I'm just jumping on real quick to do a quick video about the home builder sentiment and the housing market. And I also want to talk about the collapse of stocks, and as well as the third way we're going to talk about is how money is going to be spent in this economy in terms of the black swan events of natural disasters, fire season coming up, and a bunch of stuff that's happening in the States. The United States is going to affect worldwide markets. So right now, we see that the home builder sentiment has dropped for the fourth straight month, according to CNBC.com today. Rising rates are pushing housing to an inflection point. Mortgage rates right now for 30-year fix is above 5.2% and growing daily. It's going to go to 6% eventually here by next month. And these high prices are affecting both new and existing homes. Now, you may say it's good for the sellers of these homes, these single-family homes, because they can afford to sell and get more than above the asking price. Unfortunately, it's not good because you have rising mortgage rates, and you also have the sellers who could sell, but where are they going to go to sell? If they sell their homes, they can't get into another home because the prices of a starter home or intermediate home or an advanced luxury home are well beyond the reach of the average person. Now, for those of us that live outside of the United States, you may say, oh, finally, you guys are catching up to Australia and Europe prices for homes. You're like 300,000. That's nothing. We're paying 600,000 for homes in Australia and Europe and other places. That may be true, but it is still very high for the United States. This is the highest rate in more than a decade. And you also have to think about the people who are trying to get into the homeowners club, or at least because you really don't really own it till it's paid off. But I mean, you know what I mean. The bank owns it, or the hedge fund company owns it. But you make the homeowner payments. So the newcomers, the millennials and those below the millennials, the Gen Yers trying to get into the home buyers market, they're gonna have to wait more. So, and this is on top of the stock market. It's ironic. Like I said before, the Dow Jones has reached a peak. As you can see up here in CNN Business, it's at 35,000. It was up 200 points today, right? Almost 250 points today. But Netflix, you guys have heard this, that many people have piggybacked on Netflix accounts. 100 million subscribers have left Netflix, and Netflix stock tanked today. Has been tanking this week more than 10 to 15% here. Netflix said it shed more than 200,000 subscribers in the first 3 months of the year, which had been expecting to add 2.5 billion. So clearly this model was broken. Netflix stock dropped 30% when the market opened on Wednesday today, instantly wiping away more than 45 billion of the value of the company. Guys, the thing that's so interesting is, and I admit that I piggybacked off my sister's account. I don't have a Netflix account, but they said that half of the subscribers, over 100,000 of these 200,000 subscribers that left, were piggybackers, meaning that they didn't have a Netflix account, but they piggybacked off a friend or a family member who had one. And I admit I'm one of those too. But honestly, but with all of these streaming so you guys probably know somebody like that too. But with all of these streaming services, we have Roku, we have Hulu, we have Tubi, all kind of streaming services, and their prices are less than Netflix. Netflix went up, they raised their subscription price for their content. That they said it was 4K HDR content, right? But other companies just are more innovative, and they have less price subscription. The pricing was lower than, as far, and so Netflix is continuing to go down. It's not like a thing like AMC that's going to go up in time, because AMC, stock obviously, beyond the Reddit trade, is now working on a game plan to come back into, the market via selling, trying to do more virtual reality movies and all that kind of stuff. When you go into theaters, you see the 3D and 4D movies. But this is a bellwether. This is a canary in the coal mine. They're going to show you that other tech stocks, maybe like an Apple or Amazon, don't have many alternative sources of revenue. Once again, many of these companies rely on advertising revenue, guys. Like Facebook and all these guys that rely on advertising. You see on the internet, you see these ads on the side of your pages, or these ads on YouTube. A lot of the companies relying on advertising revenue, that model is shifting now. Americans want simple. They want bite-sized content that's relevant to their lives in terms of entertainment, and also for learning endeavors. So that's the part. Netflix is dying. This is a collapse. This is a warning for stocks. So that's so true. The collapse is coming in tech and all these other fields, and the sales are coming. in this hyperinflation environment, that people want value. And that just is another thing that I want to tell you about is that the discretionary income of Americans is lowering too. And it's going to take some time for that to work through the system. The next 3 months, June, July, August, is going to tell us where the discretionary income is. And then thirdly, I want to say that the PG&E Fire Victim Trust racks up $51 million in fees. This is Pacific Gas and Electric. Out in California, they had this large fire, you remember, a couple years ago, that destroyed campfire in 2018, that destroyed 67,000 homes, 67,000 fire victims. And PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, the light company, they admitted that they were at fault for causing the blaze. But, of course, they can't charge a corporation and send anyone to jail. However, they paid they reached $1 billion settlement. Okay, but here's the interesting thing, guys. In addition to our economy collapsing and hyperinflation, we had a lot of greed in the system, excess greed in the system by the higher ups, the corporate greed and all of that, right? This is one example. In this fire trust fund here, if you read the article, this is courtesy of NPR.org. Once again, May 20th, 2001. Okay. What they're saying is they racked up $51 $51 million in administrative fees, right? Just $7 million of the so far of the money has went to the fire victims. Okay, less than they promised $13.5 billion. Okay, according to the federal bankruptcy court filing. So far, only $7 million has reached the fire victims. And then today, I was watching a climate change program, and the judge, there's a retired judge responsible for this, for overseeing the fire victim trust fund, which I said once again was $13 billion. $13 billion, right? Okay. So you see here, just $7 million went to the fire victims. That judge who's overseeing this trust fund here for the fire victims, right? He makes $125,000 a month. That's his salary, and it comes out of this trust fund here, okay? So once again, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I don't know all the details, but I do know that sounds very excessive, on addition to the retirement pay he gets, because California has one of the highest pension retirement plans in the country, okay? They're the fifth largest economy in the world, the state of California, with its 41 million people, okay, in the state of California. So, once again, 90% of the funds from the fire victim and trust was spent on overhead. As you can see here, this is direct stats, while families who lost their homes waited for help. So people are still waiting. It's going on, almost 4 years now, since 2018, that they're waiting on help. And so far, only $7 million have been spent on actual fire victims. The rest is spent on startup costs, claim processing fees, legal fees, administrative fees, etc. So this goes to show you, if this is one thing, and I personally know someone that had to move into somebody else's duplex because they lost everything in the fire, and they're still going through legal battles. So this is what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, when we have a mismanaged economy, greed in the economy, people stealing money out of the economy, in addition to a collapse of home building, a collapse of sentiment, and a collapse of credit. The best thing that we all can do is continue to prepare, and that's one blessing that this printing up money. Everybody says they complain about, the printing up money creates hyperinflation around the world. Every bank is doing it. The European Central Bank, the American Bank, the Japanese bank. Everybody's printing up money to survive. But one good thing that it does do is it gives us time to continue to prepare. And it gives us time that while our dollar still has value around the world, the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, while it still is the world reserve currency. So we thank God that we have more time to prepare. But this just shows you that there's not just the economic factors. There's also the factor of people mismanaging money and using it in administrative fees instead of helping the people that actually need help. Who's to say during the hurricane season coming up in June for America, North America anyway, that we may experience another tragic event, and that's going to cost billions of dollars, and FEMA's going to have to give money to another project. So we have to be prepared. We have to be more self-sufficient, because the government, in terms of their funds and everything, is running low, and they're not going to be able to handle all of the losses, insured and uninsured losses that we may sustain in the next coming year and a half as a result of what's going to happen with the supply chain, the pandemic roles as we continue to come out of the pandemic, or try to come out of the pandemic, with the mask, being thrown off this summer, and a bunch of other things. So continue to prepare, my friends. I will come back with another video soon. I just want to touch base with you with these 3 important points: that inflation will continue. It's going to continue throughout the end of the year. It's not going to just magically stop. Mortgage rates will go up to 6 to 7% in America. In addition to that, we're also going to have more stocks falling, like this Netflix collapse. As a warning for stocks that other stocks are overvalued and they're going to continue to fall as discretionary income, as extra spending money that people may have, is drying up quickly. Thank you very much for listening. I'll talk to you very soon. Have a blessed afternoon and day.